welcome back to my channel, to Corona segment. Today it's hot. Yeah, it's dripping hot. Please don't mind if you can hear the sound. It's a washing machine. I'm doing laundry. Today I want us to talk about don't be apologetic of what you want. Don't be apologetic and be clear to what is it that you want. You know, in a workplace, it is very clear when there's a SCM process, what is it that is required. A specification is drafted so that it's clear what this is required from service provider. TOR, terms of reference, are also drafted, and the specification is to make sure that the organization get the correct qualified service provider, and not just get anyone who cannot provide the service and who cannot qualify. And the terms of reference are there to protect both parties, the organization and the service provider, so that they adhere to the terms of reference to govern this contract in that time during that duration. I find that even in our lives, we need to have specification in the TOR to govern our lives. But I think most of the time, especially as women, we just go with the flow. Sis, you know, this life of ours is so precious. It's so precious, and sometimes can be so short. We need to stop being apologetic what we want. We need to stop being afraid to say our expectations, what we want. We end up blaming the people that we date because we were not clear what is it that we want, and we were not consistent with what we want. So if we say, let's say I want to go to N1, I'm taking N1 to Republic of Limpopo, and then the other person say, no, let's start at N3. We just follow suit. Which means a person end up, they are being true to themselves, but you are following along, hoping that along the way, they will think of going back to N1. Have you bought a car and then you expect it to perform like a car of higher grade of another class? Is that possible? Why as women are we afraid, or we feel intimidated to say what we want and be consistent that this is what I want, and not be shy about it or not be afraid about it? When you know what you want, you avoid a lot of pain, you avoid a lot of disappointment, you avoid a lot of expectations. Expectations must be in a place where the environment is right, the specification is being met, and the terms of reference can be adhered to. Most of us, we date for the sake of dating. You know in your mind that this is what I want. I want marriage. I want, let's say, to have children. I want to have a certain kind of partner who's like this. Maybe he's a traveler. He loves this, about his outgoing as myself and everything. Then you go and settle for somebody who marriage is not part of his agenda, or marriage is not part of agenda with you, and he has made it clear, or he has hinted that it's not his intentions, or his action shows that he doesn't have plans for both of you to have future together. But then you hold on to that relationship. Sis, what are you expecting? Are you expecting Christ to come and change water to wine? Is that what you're expecting? Women, it's us who we hate ourselves because we we know deep down what we want in our heart. We know deep down what we wish for. We know deep down the kind of relationship that we want. But somehow we are not confident, or we're apologetic to tell our partner or potential partner who's coming to say, hey, Ndod, this is where I am at. This is what I wish to have. And be clear about it. Don't start in the middle. I mean, there's a certain age where, when kids are young, when kids meet at tertiary, whatever, they're getting to know each other and everything. But there's a certain age, guys, that you cannot date for the sake of dating. Unless you are clear yourself that I'm just dating for the sake of dating. I'm dating for I also have a partner, or for Munati, a partner. Now I want to feel that I belong. What end up happening is that you end up being resentful to that person that you are with. And then you leave this person and you go to the next person. The same thing happened. You are not being clear of what is it that you want and what you expect in a partner. We need to live our life with intention, intentionally living, and for people who are around us to know what we want. It's like we expect things to just boom, luck. Sometimes we sit around and say some people are lucky. No, they've positioned themselves so that when the right environment or the right thing that they want arrives, they are ready for it. You know in your heart that you want a man with a certain character, and then you go and date somebody without those characters, and you are expecting that person to change. Sis, you are the one who is short selling yourself. We need to take responsibility of our lives as women. You need to take responsibility and be consistent what you want. It's like when you're at work and you have a boss and they give you job description, jiggy. Yes, they're expecting you to do something that you never spoke about. Jiggy. No, let's just amend. Yes, a person must be flexible. But that's why even in a workplace, there's a job description which guides you. There are main tasks that you need to do, and there are other tasks which may not be in the job description, which don't fall far from what you do. You cannot be expected that you're in marketing now, you have to go and be an accountant. It's not possible. The fear that we have, the fear of being alone, and I think it's not the fault of the society. It's not the fault of men. It's the fault of us women, because we are not consistent. We just go with the flow. How do you get into the ocean when you don't know how to swim? And you think those waves are not gonna drown you? You get into the ocean because you know that you can manage that wave. You know how far you can go when you're swimming. So why are you short selling yourself? Why are we short selling ourselves? Do you have a clear indication or the kind of partner that you want? Are you clear the kind of a partner that you want? Or you're gonna figure it out along the way? Have you told your partner your expectation? Have you showed your partner your expectations? Or it's along the way when things are happening, you're like, but I don't like this. But you have never had that candid talk with your partner. You want marriage. You want this and that. You want to travel. You want to do this. You want to be adventurous. Were you clear when you entered the relationship with this person? Were you clear, this is what I want? Did you give him a chance to tell you what he wants and what he doesn't want? And are you strong enough to accept his truth and not think that his truth, you can influence his truth to change to be a truth? I'm not saying all relationships need to lead to marriage from the beginning. Yes, there's some relationship We started like people are playing, and it ended up being marriage in commitment. But most of the time as women, I don't know, we like to play mrabaraba, you know, cards. We like to gamble with our lives, with our happiness. We are not clear what we want. We are clear in our heads. We are clear in our hearts. Internally, we are clear what is it that we want. But we don't make it clear to our partners. And even if we make it clear, if the partner said, that's not what I want, that's not the direction that I want, that's not how I envision myself, we still stay. You still stick around. It's like eating KFC expecting to have a taste of Nando's. It's madness. It's madness. I wish as women we can start to take accountability of our lives and say, this is what I want. I'm not gonna be apologetic about it. I'm not gonna compromise on this. Yes, that as a human being you need to compromise on certain things and be flexible, but not on the things that can determine your life and your future. Not on those things. You can compromise on the kind of bread that you want. You can compromise that the spice that another person likes and you want to taste it and everything. Not about our lives and our future. And then we feel like men have more upper hand than us, but we give them the upper hand. Men are very clear what they want. They are very clear, then they're not apologetic about it. So why are you apologetic and you are not clear what is it that you want? How are you raising your daughters? How are you raising your nieces? And yourself, because they're going to take your example how you do things. And not being consistent. You know, even in a workplace, employer will tell you, I'd rather have an employee who's an average performer, but they're consistent, than an employer who's above a performer, but they're not consistent with their performance. Today they're here, tomorrow they're here, tomorrow they're here, tomorrow they're there. Consistency is the key to our lives in everything. It can be our personal life, our spiritual life, our health, relationship. Let's get the tools that are there, which are freely available to us, the way we handle our careers, our academics and everything, and the goals that we want when we want to go for it. Let's apply that even in our lives, so that we don't sit around and then we blame other person. Where else you are the one who was not consistent that this is what I want. You were not clear, you were not consistent. Even if you were you were clear. You follow somebody's path and you abandoned your path that you know, this is what I want. This is not. Then the other person takes you to Amadara. You just go to Amadara and yourself. And then you tell this person that you are wasting my time. But they were clear that, you know what, I hear that you want to go on N1, but I want to go to Swaziland first. And you tag along. So as women, let us think about it. When we end, let us be intentional and purposeful and deliberate in the kind of relationship that we enter and the kind of relationship that we maintain. It is your responsibility. I hope you're going to have a good day on a Thursday as you are preparing. Some of us are going home. You know, we are preparing to go home. Everybody who's driving on a long road, whatever, please be safe. Please adhere to the safety rules on the road. Please try to not to go to unnecessary gatherings and everything, and take care of yourself. And let these few weeks which are left in December make you ask yourself questions, the hard questions that you don't want to ask about yourself. And take accountability and the responsibility of your part and the mistake that you made. And don't always be blaming, but look at yourself. Me, I, and myself first. Remember, please love yourself a little bit more. Just a little bit more.